think that that correlates directly to the government shutdown that happened. We weren't able to get a bunch of data. There was just a lot of lack of clarity the last month. How's it going, guys? It's Christopher McGee. I am the owner of Halcyon Real Estate. We are affiliated with the Keller Williams Market Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today is November the 18th, 2025, and this is the Numbers and Nuance. This is the playlist that you come to weekly in order to know exactly what's happening in Utah's market center. Let's jump right into what the market looks like right now, and then I'll turn it over to the charts to show you the data directly from where I'm pulling it. Let's check it out. So things are moving locally and for the time of year, as we would expect for where our market's been and for what the time of year is. Let's talk for just a minute about interest rates though. That's the one kind of real anomaly among the market data that I'm looking at that's not moving the direction that we'd love it to. We'd love it to keep coming down to a certain point, but I'm kind of in favor of keeping it not much lower than 6% for now. It got down to like 6.1 something, depending on where you were. And then it hiked back up at this point to almost 6.4. We're at 6.38 as the national average for a conventional long-term, for a conventional 30-year loan. It's trended up for a month now. And I think that that correlates directly to the government shutdown that happened. We weren't able to get a bunch of data. There was just a lot of lack of clarity the last month. Not to mention that the Fed seems split right now over their policy on rate cuts. And that split causes some volatility in the market here. So the government shutdown is now over, and later this week, the Fed will release and account for some data that we've been missing. And hopefully that brings some clarity to the market around interest rates. Although we're not super clear on how much clarity we're gonna get from that time span of the government shutdown. It might take another month or so to look back at it and assess that data correctly. I do know that there are a lot of layoffs happening right now, and while that's not great for us economically, it is good for the interest rate picture. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, here's where things are on the Utah housing market as of November 18th, 2025. Our current inventory stands at 13,060 available homes for sale in Utah. That's down from the previous weekend, trending down as we expect right now. Prior week's average days on market came to 63. This has been picking up, as in slightly fewer days on market as an average for the last month, but we do expect a downward trend overall moving forward, just because that's typical for this time of year. Last week's average list price came to $705,261, which is down from the previous week, and this is trending just slightly up. Last week's average sold price came to $693,342. So that's down from the prior week's astronomical anomaly, which shows us now a proper difference between average list price and average sold price of $11,919, back within the range it belongs. That's the difference between average list and average sold, and that is in the buyer's favor. And you can see, according to that chart, that that's been normal for the overwhelming amount of time that we've been tracking it. It's just had a couple anomalies that I explained last week. Now, last week, the median sold price came to $525,000. That is where more people are experiencing what buying a home is like in Utah. Important to know that difference between what the average list price is and what the median list price is. More people are experiencing buying homes around $525,000, and that's down from the previous week, where last week it was $535,000. Last week, the number of homes that sold in Utah came to 452, and that's down from the previous week, trending down overall into the winter as we expect. Currently under contract in Utah, there are 4,804 homes. That's up a touch from the previous week, trending down overall. Last week, the number of price reductions on homes on the market came to 1,173. That's down a couple of hundred from the previous week, and this is trending down overall. Last week, the number of listing contracts that were either canceled, expired, or withdrawn from the MLS came to 455. That's down from the previous week. This is trending slightly up. That's common through the winter as well. And then interest rates for a 30-year fixed rate conventional loan come to, like we said, 6.38%. Up from last week, and that is 4 weeks in a row this has trended up. I do expect it to come down this week, I really do. And if you look at the far left of this chart, you see that we're still trending down, right? At the second or third plot point in for this quarter's trend of where interest rates have gone comes to 7.24, I believe. And from there, we're down pretty significantly. If we look at it from the beginning of the year, then we see a much more dramatic and obvious downward trend across the months from the beginning of the year to present. Just so you know, we've got a spread across this year of a full 1% interest rate lower than where we've been. 1% interest rate lower, let's do some math, okay? On a roughly average priced home, let's just say $700,000. Roughly average priced home in Utah. Let's say you bought this home at 7% interest rate for your mortgage, okay? And let's just say you put 10% down on this home. Your monthly payments are gonna come to about $4,100 a month, okay? The difference between that and if you bought the same home with the same down payment at 6% is that your monthly payments at 6% come to about $37.70 a month, okay? We're looking at about $400 difference in that 1% spread. That's a huge difference. So while it doesn't feel like a whole lot, it's there. And while home prices haven't come down as dramatically as a lot of people would like them to, specifically home buyers, and while interest rates haven't come down dramatically as home buyers would like them to, it's important that that drop remains steady instead of sudden. We don't want a waterfall drop in house prices or in interest rates. Those cause their own problems and are symptoms of bigger problems that we don't want. So that's important to understand. And for where we've been, where we've come, is the right direction. And that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about anything that I've gone over, hit me in the comments. As always, I'll be happy to respond. If you or anybody you know is looking at a move in the coming months, selling and or buying your new home, I hope you're comfortable reaching out to me. My contact info is always in the description of the video. I'm gonna be happy to hear from you and have a conversation. And if this is the kind of data that you want your head wrapped around, if this is valuable to you, especially while you're looking at selling or buying a home in the near future, you won't find a better place for this data than right here. Hit that subscribe and stay up on it with me from week to week. Thanks for watching this week, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.